boyfriend defensive watching, a promising young woman. So I was watching a promising young woman with boyfriend, and at the part where she's talking to the dean who dismissed her when she was assaulted, my boyfriend said something like, "That's stupid." And so I made him explain, and he said that it was stupid because it was unrealistic, and he didn't like the discrediting of the notion, innocent until proven guilty. He also thought the fact that it was a girl power scene was annoying, whatever that means. When I asked him what he meant, he said that he would think that man power scenes were annoying too. I tried to explain that the innocent until proven guilty thing wasn't the point of the scene. Also, I said that it wasn't totally unrealistic that her accusations would be dismissed by a dean, and things like that actually happen all the time. I also said that women deserve a moment of reckoning in a movie, and his defensiveness really bothered me. It felt like he wasn't really hearing anything I was saying, so I got kinda worked up, and I don't remember exactly how the argument carried on, but at one point he accused me of getting angry with him about his criticism for the movie because it was cathartic for me. And then at some point he told me I owed him an apology, basically for objecting to his opinion. I have to say though that I do think innocent until proven guilty should apply to all crimes, and I acknowledged that with him but tried to explain that that wasn't the point. Still, it bothers me that he was immediately critical and defensive of the film instead of considering how the message might have a good point about how women are sometimes treated by men, and how this is perpetuated. I don't know what to make of this ordeal right now, and whether I should judge him as a person because of it. Just looking for general insight. I don't know how old y'all are, but if he's an adult, he should be aware of the fact that assault accusations get dismissed on college campuses all the time. They happen at all types of schools. We literally had a boy who was sexually harassing us in elementary school, and they didn't kick him out for literal years despite all of the girls he inappropriately touched and bothered. But at the end of the day, if he didn't know this but was open to learn, it would be okay. What concerns me is he wants an apology. For what? And also, does he get upset every time a dude that's the hero in a movie mistreats women? Or other men? I mean, movies are rife with violence where men have reckonings against other men without being proven guilty. Does he object to all of those? Unrealistic girl power is you boyfriend from the 70s, dismisses and diminishes your feelings. I owe him an apology. So instead of openly listening to a woman about women's experiences, he defends, deflects, blames, and criticizes. If I were you, yes, I would judge him as a person because of this. He's being misogynistic. I would try to sit down with him and talk about the whole exchange again, and get to know his general attitudes to see if he redeems himself. I wouldn't hold my breath, but I'd give him a second chance just out of, I gave him a second chance to show he is not a man-child with women issues. Meanwhile, start packing. Good luck, op. Please watch Unbelievable on Netflix with him. I think how these messages get across can sometimes be a challenge for men to understand because it's an experience they don't really face, but also I've found scenes that are, as he put it, girl power, don't send the same message to men as they do for women. The interpretation will never be the same as long as they can't relate to it. I think it's understandable for him to not get it, but it's very concerning that he's not open-minded to listening to you about it and becoming more informed on how women are treated. This reminds me of an argument I got into with my BFS dad about Genghis Khan. He thought that Genghis Khan's stabilization of the region infrastructure economy made him a good leader, and he thinks he should be honored. I say IDC if he cured cancer. He raped so many women that his genes are present in over 16 million people today. No amount of good deeds could ever compare. Ended up having a fucking mental breakdown trying to explain to him why mass rape is bad. Yikes. Look, I'm a guy that was assaulted by a girl in a college campus. I am under no illusions that I'd be believed if she came forward and said I assaulted her. That said, I am also under no illusions that what women go through is not real, or is exaggerated, or that women have no reason to be real fucking angry at how they are treated by too many men. Being a victim isn't a competition, and one gender's experience does not negate the other. The fact your boyfriend does not understand that is eyebrow-raising at least. I'm not sure how this scene is at all interpreted as a girl power scene. If anything, this scene illustrates how women and institutions are a huge part of rape culture and upholding the status quo. Your boyfriend wants you to apologize for having an opinion different from his? Yeah, that's a no from me, dog. As for the people in the comments saying what amounts to, boys will be boys, and, we just grew up different, you're proving the film's entire point. It's also just a shitty excuse. I watched this film with my boyfriend and he really enjoyed it and was rooting for every terrible character to get their comeuppance. You don't have to date a man who doesn't respect women just because of the myth that all men act like this. Well, he's never had a dean dismiss his experience as a woman, so it must not exist. Your boyfriend is an idiot. I have to say that this reminds me of my professor preparing the room to discuss rape as a crime in law school. Like I was floored she had to remind the people to be respectful because we were all intelligent adults. But lo and behold, I watched as over the next hour the men got increasingly defensive. It was the most gendered divide and actually pretty heartbreaking. That being said, watched the movie with my fiancé and he did not get the least bit defensive. He wants an apology? Screw that. How old are you? He's defensive because he sees himself in the men portrayed. That's why people get defensive. Also, that's an incredible movie, so at the very least he has shit taste. His reasoning about, innocent until proven guilty, is complete BS. Just because you can morally give someone the benefit of the doubt does not mean that can just brush off accusations without looking into them. If that were the case, we wouldn't need a judicial system because everyone is innocent until proven guilty, right? Of course, in this case it only applies because it was a woman's accusation, right? Yeah, I don't know the movie but your boyfriend sucks. Well, he's a bit of a woman hater, who else would be bothered by girl power? But he is entitled to his own opinion and you don't have a right to make him change his mind. If I were you, man like that would put me on edge and I wouldn't continue dealing with it. You won't be able to get him to change his mind and it's rude to try. He's a boy who grew up in a boys' society. No surprise that he has some sexist opinion, it's the case of the majority. If I had to give you an advice about the situation, I would say try to keep a healthy discussion but don't back down. You owe him no apologies for criticizing his wrong opinions. Keep in mind that people change their mind when proved wrong, it just takes time and benevolence. Red flags. I'd say count this as something good because now you know not to waste any more time with him. He sounds like the boyfriend character in the movie, you know, the one who thinks he did nothing wrong when he is part of the problem. Why is he so mad even if the scene was unrealistic anyway? He's really taking it personal. This subreddit will tell you to leave him, because this subreddit suggests breaking up at the tiniest inconvenience. Do not break up with your partner over an argument about a fucking movie. There are clearly some differences of opinion and perspective here. Learn to deal with differences, or you're going to have a bad time, no matter who you're dating. I had a very fierce argument with my girlfriend over the book Lolita. She thought it should be banned, I thought it should be studied and discussed. Years later, she actually changed her mind on that. I've changed my mind on a few things too. Sometimes couples who are happy subconsciously look for stuff to fight about. Movies, music, and art all subjective. A person's beliefs rarely change instantly. A difference of views on third-party or hypothetical items need not escalate into a fight. Nothing you could have said was going to make him love or appreciate that scene. This is no ordeal. Sometimes you just have to agree to disagree and move on. A night of snuggling and watching a movie together should never turn into a war. Best wishes. He probably is a decent guy who hangs out with decent guys and therefore has trouble believing that many guys would be such assholes in their treatment of women. Dump him. This comment thread looks really interesting when you have mass tagger enabled. Anyway, I judge him for not understanding what innocent until proven guilty means. It's for courts of law. If his BFF harassed you and you told him, would he believe you or demand proof beyond all reasonable doubt as decided by 12 strangers? I think you should break up with him. Your boyfriend sounds like he's either 17 or 20. His dismissive attitude would be a total turn-off for me. I'd be super pissed too. Pay attention to more red flags. Location flag. If the accused are innocent of assault until proven guilty, isn't the accuser also innocent of lying until proven guilty? It seems like your boyfriend has a knee-jerk reaction to doubt women, which is concerning. You're both pretty young. It takes repeated exposure to this stuff to change your mind. I wouldn't necessarily throw him out, because he's a 20-year-old boy who has a few stupid opinions. You don't have to come away with a resolution on the first go. At the same time, if it comes up repeatedly and you don't see a shift in him over time, maybe consider your future together. You don't want to be stuck with an idiot for the rest of your life. Just ask my wife. It sucks. He accused me of getting angry with him about his criticism for the movie because it was cathartic for me. Not sure whether the movie or your anger at your boyfriend was what was supposed to be cathartic for you, but either way, he's criticizing what he's decided your feelings are? Or your ability to be reasonable while having them. This is not only not okay, but pretty damn stereotypical. FYI, your boyfriend is a misogynist. Maybe gaslighting too. Sounds like a Manpower movie to demand an apology from you. Really? This is an argument? Grow up. Are you holding his difference of opinion over his head? This is not about the comment here but your relationship reaction, i.e. punishing him for it. Look, you can propose why you have your opinion and why you think his opinion is wrong, but you can't force him to change his. It sounds like you punishing him for a bit. Like I said, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing in the opinion, just relationship reactions going on here. Yikes, did no one read the solid block of text and think, this person is exhausting? Could that be a factor? Nope. Man bad is the extent of the comments here. Good work, Reddit. Well, you might not agree with it, but he does have the right to his own opinion, and perhaps ATM you were possibly judgy of his opinion. IDK, of course, since you were there, but since you put this out there, it is just something for you to consider. At a later point, perhaps revisit your discussion with him to see if your POV can be better acknowledged, accepted by him. With Joe Biden reversing Title IX protections for falsely accused men, I can see why he's be upset at this. That movie fucking sucked ass bags. I was waiting and waiting and waiting for killing. It was like a fucking buzzkill. No one gonna be like, hey, why is a lady kidnapping a minor? Really, bitch? We teaching people it's okay as long as women do it? I really wanted to like that movie. I loved the music. I loved the picture. Beautiful, balance with symbolism. Bad writing. That movie should have been so awesome. I was happy his one friend was loyal. IDK. I didn't side with the guys. Rather, I pointed out how fucking awful women are to each other. You asked for his opinion and you got it. IMAO, if you disagree with his morals, ethics, dump him. But remember, you asked for his opinion. Everyone is entitled to their own. He simply said his. That's a yikes. You're overstepping as hell and you caused the argument. If you don't like his viewpoint, then leave. Keck, so many downvotes even though I'm right. Y'all need to grow up and stop having pointless fights.